This isn't just the fastest Lamborghini of all time. This is the fastest car in the world, full stop. Provided, of course, your world is Germany's Nürburgring, where an Aventador SVJ just like this one just set the production car lap record. And of course, provided said record hasn't been broken by the time you're watching this. However, as it stands right now, this is the absolute pinnacle of racetrack performance. And just there is a racetrack. So what are we waiting for?
Now get the tissues ready, folks, because this will be the very last time we see this big V12 engine appear in a Lamborghini without some sort of electrification. But as far as going away parties go, this one is an absolute firecracker. The mid-mountain monster produces a staggering 566 kilowatts and 720 newton meters, sending that power thundering to all four wheels via a 7-speed automatic gearbox. The results, as you might expect, are pretty impressive. The sprint to 100 kilometers an hour takes just 2.8 seconds, while 200 kilometers an hour whips past in just 8.6 seconds. Keep your foot planted, and the SVJ will scream to somewhere north of 350 kilometers an hour.
Yes, it looks like a collection of angles sharp enough to cut yourself on, but there is method to all of this design madness. The SVJ debuts Lamborghini's ALA 2.0 Aerodynamic System. Now the way that basically works is there's two flaps here in the front splitter. Closed like they are now, air rushes over the bonnet, creating downforce on the front end. But when these flaps open, the air is channeled under the car, reducing drag. Now here at the rear, there are two more of those flaps in this housing here. And what's really clever is they operate independently. So when one opens, it creates extra downforce on the cornering wheel, which means more grip. Now it's an insanely clever but very simple solution, and one that only adds 500 grams of weight to the car, but it shaved full seconds off the Nürburgring lap time.
The SVJ will arrive in Australia wearing a price tag of around $950,000. And yes, that's a lot. And what you're really buying for that money is performance, and lots of it. So if you are in the market for something with a few more luxurious touches, maybe think again.
Now, no one ever said that supercars were supposed to be practical, and while you'll never get tired of your doors doing this, you will get tired of folding yourself into the cabin. Once in here though, you will find an interior that is utterly performance focused with lashings of carbon fiber and Alcantara, and these missile style switches as far as the eye can see, as well as my personal favorite, this protected start stop button. In terms of creature comforts, well, there's air conditioning, I guess.
Happily though, any quibbles about passenger comfort are pretty quickly forgotten when that thumping V12 engine builds towards its crescendo. And at the end of the day, isn't that what cars like the SVJ are really about?
Welcome then to the ultimate anti-EV. A naturally aspirated engine the size of a small city, an exhaust note that sounds like it could bring down buildings, and an ocean of fuel being transformed into power every time you touch the accelerator. It is raucous, it is old school, and it is great big barrels of fun. But that doesn't mean it's a dinosaur either. There is so much clever tech going on in this car in order to squeeze this much performance out of it, from Lamborghini's ALA 2.0 Aerodynamic System to the rear wheel steering system. Usually when you hear about all these clever new systems designed to eke out little increments of performance, you never really feel them at work, but that's not the case here. You can actually feel all the little components doing their thing, the way it tucks into corners, the way it stays there until you're ready to come out the other end. And when you are, my God, does it blast. Much has been made of the raw acceleration of this car, and it is the kind of thing that needs to be felt to be believed. So this is a sprint on the main straight here at Estoril. That's 100, that's 150, and there goes 200. I mean, the amount of power this thing produces and the way it puts it into the tarmac on the exit of the corner is genuinely difficult to fathom at times. And yes, it's hard and angry all the time, and it's not every day that you feel like you're going to get whiplash every time it changes gears. And yes, look, it's probably too hard to live with every day. I mean, there's no cup holders in here for a start, no glove box, no door pockets, and in fact, cargo capacity is pretty much limited to what's in your pockets. But on a racetrack, I tell you, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. It's no secret that this is a swan song for the Aventador, a farewell, if you will, for a car that's been with us since 2011. And I tell you, it's one hell of a way to go out with a bang. Hidden under that green exoskeleton is that glorious V12 engine. It's the last time we're going to see one in a Lamborghini without some sort of electrification. And yes, those cars will probably be faster and more efficient than this one, but there's this glorious old school charm to this that I for one am really going to miss when it's gone.